The offseason is well underway, and we here at Locked On NHL Game Night are tackling the toughest questions with our favorite local experts.
Tonight, we fly across the country to the Pacific Northwest to check in on the Vancouver Canucks.
And a new foot has joined the ranks this offseason, but will his leadership style get the Canucks off on the right foot?
Cam, see what you did there. We'll answer that question and so much more as we welcome Canucks expert Trevor Beggs on this summer edition of Locked On NHL Game Night.
When that final horn sounds, you know it's time for Locked On NHL Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On NHL Game Night. Your team every day.
Hello there, hockey fans. Welcome to another season preview episode of Locked On NHL Game Night. How about this for a special guest tonight, Tyler?
Man, Trevor looks a little bit different than how I envisioned him and have seen him on the Locked On Canucks podcast. But he looks
definitely
good.
A little more animated, if you will.
For sure. A West Coast IPA looking a little Boston-esque. Little Irish.
Oh, what a day, boys. What a day. I found a West Coast IPA. Again, midsummer here on vacation. Cracking the cold ones. And guess what? I found a beer that looks like me, man. Unbelievable. Dude, what a day.
Whoa. The IPA guy and Raleigh Fingers got together.
Wait, did you say Raleigh Fingers?
I did say, you know the Baseball Hall of Famer, Raleigh Fingers.
I thought we were having Trevor Beggs on the show, but I beg to differ now looking at that mustache.
Oh man.
Ooh, there we go. Okay.
Wow. Is that your dad?
Oh, I wish, man. My dad's bald, so I got that coming my way. But his teeth are much whiter than mine. Man, he might have 50 years on me, but look
what kind of toothpaste you using?
I mean, look, when you make the Hall of Fame, man, I think you got the money.
Yeah. Hey, Trevor, if it makes you feel any better, my dad's also bald. He's a good-looking dude, though. So, no hair, no worries, no problem.
There we go, man. Well, he made you. And hey, worst comes to worst for you and me, we can all go on a locked-on trip to Turkey.
That's nothing would bring me more happiness. I think a lot of the Locked On family would enjoy that trip. There could be a whole bunch of us.
There's a lot of them. Yeah,
we would be locked in
right there, man,
and locked on. And hopefully the hair and the plugs would be locked on in that scenario for life.
I don't even know how to transition this, so let's go into it. Cam Stuart, Tyler Feldman, Trevor Beggs, talking Canucks, a team with all kinds of drama last year. Let's look at how they have put that drama behind them. Who needs the big bounce back season for the Canucks? And where does that get them? Does that get them back into the postseason? Of course, we're season previewing every team, all 32, leading up to puck drop. Today, let's talk some Vancouver Canucks. Trevor, let's start here. There was a ton of drama, man. It was like a soap opera last year. It gets to the point where you've got to trade one of your guys who scored 100 points in the last two seasons. And of course, I think it's not too surprising that guy ended up being JT Miller. The drama doesn't really stop. The Canucks don't make the playoffs. Elias Pettersson does not have a good season. Rick Tocchet resigns after the season. And then it's kind of like running it back with bringing in Adam Foote. Is that the way that you see it?
I mean, I would say you're right in that assessment there, Cam. And yeah, with the Adam Foote hire itself, I mean, the whole rationale from the Canucks was we had so much drama this season, and we have to bring in a guy that knows that locker room, okay, that knows how to get the most out of our players. And I don't know if I'm buying it, man, to be honest with you. It's look, I think that most Vancouver Canucks fans, I think, will agree with this. But, in the AHL, you got Manny Malhotra. The guy did such a bang-up job with the Canucks affiliate in Abbotsford. You talk to the guy, he's just so well-spoken. Seems he has such a good grasp. And, again, that Abbotsford Canucks team was really young last season, too. So Manny really did seem like the guy. But, again, I think it goes down to the Quinn Hughes trump card, right? I mean, Quinn Hughes went on TNT, and I think it was in February or March, and called Adam Foote one of the best coaches he's ever had. He might have even said the best coach he's ever had. And when you get Quinn Hughes, who has an absolute stranglehold over the organization, saying that about Adam Foote, I said it on our show before he got hired. I'm like, I think it's going to be Adam Foote just based on the Quinn Hughes cosign, man. So But to your point, I mean, yeah, exactly. They promote a coach that's an assistant in-house. They don't really change much of their roster. In fact, they doubled down on re-signing Besser, extending Garland, extending Demko. Really their only changes are, in terms of the big ones, shipping out Dakota Joshua, letting Pius Suter walk, and bringing in Evander Kane. So a lot of surface level moves for a team that frankly wasn't very good last season. But it was a year where really everything that could go wrong did go wrong, right? And you guys referenced the drama. I mean, man, when I joined Locked On back in 2023, early 2023, I was talking to the overlord, and he was saying we need a guy to cover the Canucks because there's always something going on in Vancouver. And yeah, there usually is. And it's usually not for the best, unfortunately, man.
I always wonder if the Canucks are savable. Can the Canucks be saved? It felt like Real Housewives of Vancouver this past season with hockey players, which I think would be really entertaining. Someone should pick up that every long form piece of sports journalism now. It's some docu-series and it's all serious and it's a little fun. Give me Vancouver in a hockey Real Housewives of Vancouver situation. That's what I want.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, is there any saving the Vancouver Canucks? I mean, obviously in the West Coast here, we're smoking the West Coast bias, and that's what we're believing, man, that it's going to change one of these days. But yeah, I mean, I could go on a tangent here, but you got an ownership group that has been a little bit meddling, to call it lately, over the past 10 plus years. So do I see it changing? I mean, look, anything is possible. This owner was in charge back when this team was one win away from getting spanked by Cam's Boston Bruins. By the way, that Tim Thomas reference, man, you do. I did shed a tear when you were introing the show back, so I got that out of the way.
Look, he brought it up.
Like, this team did get closer to the same ownership group, but yeah, at the end of the day, man, it's I lead towards the negative, unfortunately, man, but I'm always believing.
Well, you started the show with a beer in hand. I feel like that's the energy. How else are you going to save yourselves from this agony that is whatever the Vancouver Canucks are right now? Drink your sorrows.
Dude, 100%. And
you're on vacation.
Yeah. Exactly. And you know what, man? I still get that West Coast in me. Look, I'm in Ontario, I'm in Ottawa, Canada, and I'm drinking a West Coast IPA, man. Look at this guy right here, man.
That looks like Johnny Canuck's brother right there.
That's unbelievable. Grandfather.
So I'm still a West Coast boy heart, man.
And we're hoping that Trevor is back on the West Coast by the time this premieres. But we don't know, though. Like, we don't know if Trevor's going to be able to make it back by that point with everything going on in Canada. Just as much drama going on with Air Canada as there is with the Canucks. Trevor's talked about Quinn Hughes. We're going to talk about him later on in the show, but we also got to get to Elias Pettersson here. Well, coming off the worst year of his career, how important is he to the turnaround of this Canucks team? Let's talk about it next on Locked On NHL Game Night. But first, today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. I don't like doing that. I don't know about you. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL. Talking Canucks here on Locked On NHL Game Night alongside Tyler Feldman and Trevor Beggs from Locked On Canucks. I'm Cam Stewart. As a reminder, we're previewing all 32 teams as we get up to puck drop. So if you've got your thoughts on the Canucks, if you're going to go on the rant that Trevor hasn't gone on yet, do it in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Helps us out a lot, helps us keep our jobs, and it helps you get in contact with Trevor Beggs of Locked On Canuck. But Trevor, let's talk about, honestly, one of my favorite players in the NHL, and that is Elias Pettersson, depending on the day or what person's saying it. Elias Pettersson coming off the worst year of his career. 45 points in 64 games, coming off an injury a little bit from the year before. It wasn't that long ago that he was a 100-point guy that was getting Selke votes, Pavel Datsyuk comparisons, and he was just an absolute shell of himself last year for Vancouver. So before we talk about how vital he is, Trevor, are you seeing signs that Pettersson's going to have a bounce back year?
It does feel like it's grasping at straws a little bit, Cam. But look, I mean, you look at Elias Pettersson, what he did over his first 400 career games, and he was over a point per game guy. I mean, look, there's other stats that I could pull. I think one was his first 5 years in the NHL, up until, his downward slide in January of 2024. Guy was top 20 in points. From the time Rick Tocchet got hired up until the All-Star game in 2024, which really was the falling off point for Pettersson, he was 7th in the NHL in points over about a year plus stretch. Wow. So the guy's got the God-given talent. One of the most individually talented players in the NHL. And, if you look back at his season and what we heard in the media from talking to guys there, it's that, obviously he was injured in the playoffs. Apparently, for whatever rationale, those injuries affected his offseason training. But whatever the rationale is, he came into camp reportedly in the worst shape among guys on the team. And this is the first year that you're making $11.6 million. And of course, look, I mean, injuries aside, I mean, I could see that affecting offseason training, but that's a bad look. Yeah. When you're the highest paid guy in Canucks history and you're one of the guys in the worst shape on the team. And of course, I'm sure that rubbed JT the wrong way, blah, blah, blah. We know about all that. But moving forward here, I mean, look, you hear some things about him training over in Sweden. You see a couple clips. You see the interview saying that he's out for revenge. I want to believe it, man. And I really do believe in Elias Pettersson. For me, it's more of the mental blockade than the physical blockade. I mean, there were points last season where, he just, those plays that he'd make in the past were just automatic, just beautiful saucer passes, great shots. Like none of that was working. And I think speed is a factor too, right? He's look at that NHL edge data for you nerds out there, including myself, man. You should see when I put my glasses on. One of the fastest players in the NHL 2 years ago, right? 22, 23. I think, honestly, if the Canucks made the playoffs, he would have been a Hart nominee. He was fantastic at that season. One of the fastest guys in the NHL. And now he's in like the bottom quarter in terms of guys and their speed. So, but again, you just want to believe the injuries are behind him. He did end the season on a high note before getting injured again. He had like 10 points in 7 games before injuries knocked him out of the lineup. So, I mean, look, I know you're going to ask the question about how vital is he to his success. Do we believe in the bounce back? This upcoming Canucks season, it completely hinges on one player. It hinges on what Elias Pettersson can do. Right?
You guys are in trouble. You guys are in trouble then. I just don't know how you can say that. I know he's framed it as this is the redemption year. He's motivated to bounce back, and I can believe it, Trevor. But I also can't believe you just said that it's all hinging on one player. Imagine you're an airline and all your employees go on strike. They're not hinging. The airlines is not worried about one person. They're worried about the entire team. How can the Canucks even get to where they want to get to and even have a chance to do what it seems like they can't do by just relying on one guy who needs to have this astronomical bounce back? That seems insane to me.
Man, I like your reference to Air Canada there.
Oh,
thanks for rubbing that in my face, bud.
I didn't want to read between the lines for that.
I didn't want that one to fly over you.
On a roll, man. On a roll. Well, I won't be flying over you anytime soon, man. That's for sure.
Oh, that's thank goodness.
I bring bad luck wherever I go, man. Look at the shirt I'm wearing, man. Look at this Canucks logo. It's a bad omen, man.
Yeah.
But look, I think in the NHL in general, you need superstar talent to win. Like that's just the name of the game. And you can maybe look at teams like the Blues or the Golden Knights, even the Golden Knights more so when they went to the cup final. But I really think you need superstar talent to win in this league. And look, the Canucks, Kyle and I went through the 4, Kyle, my co-host on Locked On Canucks. We went through the 4s. Like there's probably 11 guys who can hit double-digit goals, right? And they got a top 5 defense, and they got potentially one of the best goaltending duos in the NHL. But I think it all starts to fall apart if Elias Pettersson is looking like he did last year. And then you got Filipino behind him. You got Atu Ratu, you got Teddy Bluger. Like that center depth is got a lot of question marks.
Teddy Bluger, former Penguin. We will not talk poorly on any.
Hey! We call him Teddy Gluger on the West Coast, man.
Oh
glue
boy!
in the room.
Oh boy!
Just what a glue guy. The Elias Pettersson thing. It reminds me of one of my favorite quotes in hockey history, which Bill Clement said about Chris Pronger in the year 2000 when he was coming up lame in a playoff series. He was hurt, and he said, "The St. Louis Blues need Chris Pronger like humans need oxygen." And that's what it feels like with Pettersson. I'm on Trevor's side here in that there is some talent on this team, but that's the motor, man. That's the guy making almost $12 million a year. That's your 100-point franchise #1 center. It does need to go through him. You're coming off, I think you get Brock Besser on a good deal, probably, even though you're going up to the cap with it. You're coming off a career year for Jake DeBrusk, career high in goals, and all of a sudden, like if you look Pettersson back as a lethal franchise center like he was, being a 190-point guy, then that's a pretty lethal first line there, Trevor.
Oh man, I like the optimism that you're shooting my way, man. Unlike Mr. taking shots at my canceled flights and out of money over there, man.
It's
a good cop, bad cop kind of thing.
It's a hockey podcast. Let me take some shots, man. Come on.
Hey, there we go, man. There we go. Oh man. To your point, I mean, Jake DeBrusk, Brock Besser, Elias Pettersson has the potential there to be a good line. It's funny, man. Like I remember, I've been covering the Canucks for quite some time. You can tell by my my mustache. It's quite a long time I've been growing this. I've been in this industry, But I remember writing about Pettersson and Besser back in like 2018, and some of the numbers they were putting up in the first half of Pettersson's rookie season, they looked like one of the next great duos in the NHL. And then JT Miller comes to the town, and they have the Lotto line. And then kind of since then, they haven't had a ton of chemistry. It's been a little weird. They're good friends off the ice. Yeah.
With all the drama
Brock
that's
Besser,
been going on.
Yeah, Brock Besser really clicked with JT Miller. And so those two haven't had a ton of chemistry, man. I'm curious to see if they can reunite something there. I mean, Nils Höglander is another X factor for the Canucks. Him and Pettersson are good buddies. He's been really hot and cold too. But yeah, I guess to put a bow in it, like, look, the Canucks, so many things went wrong last season, and they were still in the playoff race until their third last game, really. With Pettersson being injured and getting 45 points and the drama and blah, blah, blah. Demko barely played, all this stuff. The Canucks could be a playoff team if Pettersson has another mediocre year, but the bar is higher than that. Like I'm looking at, can this team be a Stanley Cup contender? And there's zero chance in hell they can be a Stanley Cup contender if Pettersson's not somewhere closer to the 100-point player compared to the 45-point player.
And if Trevor is aiming higher, then certainly the captain of the Canucks is aiming higher. What's it going to take to keep Quinn Hughes happy? Let's talk about it next on Locked On NHL Game Night. Back here on a jovial game night.
Man, Canadians just operate with the energy and joy that sometimes I feel like we miss that here in the States. Don't you feel that, Cam?
Yeah, especially the winter months specifically. Yeah.
Well, I mean, speak for yourself. I don't really encounter that anymore.
Then the 100 degrees every day summer that you get, I think that would make me pissed off.
It's my fourth T-shirt of the day. Already sweat through three. So
exactly. But when we get Trevor on here, he's stuck. Trevor's literally stuck as we're recording this, and the guy's just bringing the energy. Like, can we get Beggs in the Canucks locker room? Maybe just lighten the place up a little bit.
Oh man, it's we're saving that announcement for Locked On Canucks, man. It's definitely happening for sure.
Whoa! Wow. You need a 2C, Trevor Beggs lining up, second line center.
Love seeing Cam beg for more Trevor Beggs.
There's definitely a lot of Beggs jokes to be made, man. That's for sure, man. You guys got what? We got about 10 minutes left, man. No problem, man. Let's go.
We got a little bit more time to get some puns in.
Anyway, Trevor is begging for Quinn Hughes to stick around.
Oh, 100%.
Free agent after the 2027 season, and there's already those seeds going around. Because again, it's the Canucks. Like, this is not just last year. This is 50 years of Canucks hockey that we're talking about some kind of drama happening. To Trevor Linden, to Mark Messier, to now Pettersson and Miller and Quinn Hughes, where, the owner's saying, I don't know if Quinn's going to really want to play here. Quinn might want to play with his brothers. We can't really do much about that. He's saying it to the assembled media at the end of the season. So, Trevor, for those of us looking from the outside looking in, what is the real deal with this Quinn Hughes situation? Does he not like Vancouver? Are the Canucks going to need a really good season to keep him happy, or has this all been kind of blown out of proportion?
Well, I think Jim Rutherford kind of, had a big part in blowing it out of proportion. I think it was, it was an underground storyline here in Vancouver. Like, the hardcore fans know that Quinn Hughes is 2 years away from a massive extension, but it wasn't really a story until Jim Rutherford opened his big, beautiful mouth, man. And I don't know if that guy's starting to lose it or what, but he makes our job easy, man, because he's an entertaining dude.
You gotta love
but
that.
He was stressing me out, man. And then his next press conference talks about Quinn Hughes not calling him back when he was introducing Foot as head coach. It's like, Jim, come on, man, just give it a rest. Yeah, but the Quinn Hughes storyline, it is a storyline now, thanks to Jim Rutherford, right? And but by all accounts, he does like it in Vancouver. And I think he's driven, and I know he thinks it's an honor to be a captain in this city, to be a captain in a hockey mad market. The potential for bringing or leading a team to the first Stanley Cup in franchise history, potentially the first cup in Canada in 30 plus years, because that still hasn't happened yet. So there's all these things that I think motivate Quinn Hughes in Vancouver. I know he gets along great with the team. I mean, Connor Garland named his goddamn kid Quinn. Come on, man. And I know Connor Garland says, there wasn't a Exactly, man. Come on. Is it his blood brothers or is it his brothers in that locker room, man? Who's he going to choose? Who knows, man? So, yeah, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, but, Cam, to your point, I think the Canucks need to start doing some winning. Like, if they have another crap year this year and the one after that, actually, I think this year is probably a big one because the most value Quinn Hughes is going to have, and he's obviously a very valuable guy, would be the trade deadline in March of 2026. Like, if the Canucks have a crap season, and this team's being like, we could get this guy for 2 playoff runs. In my mind, the best defenseman in the NHL. Like that would be where you would sell highest on Quinn. But that's a dark, dark thought because it's already been, like you said, 50 plus years of a dark history in Vancouver. And man, oh man, things will start to get real bleak if Quinn Hughes walks out the door.
Vegas Golden Knight, Quinn Hughes.
Man. Come on.
Possibly.
Don't do that.
Trevor, outside of winning, though, obviously winning typically solves everything. What else will it take to keep Quinn happy outside of that winning portion in Vancouver?
Yeah, I think he has a great relationship with the guys in the locker room. Like you see him in photos, like in the offseason with, obviously his brothers are there too, and a lot of photos, but, he's got a lot of photos like Garland and Myers and Besser, and, he talks highly about a lot of guys on that team. And, the coaching staff in Vancouver, like if Foot and him continue to have this good relationship that he's talked about, and to Foot's credit, I mean, I got my hesitations about him as a head coach, but he has transformed this defense. The Canucks have not had a good defense in a long time, even with Quinn Hughes on the team. And now they finally seem to have a really rock solid defense. So, I mean, look, the opportunity's there. The Canucks are going to give him the bag. You look at that NHL Prime series. I mean, he's got a nice apartment overlooking the waterfront, overlooking downtown Vancouver. Like, I think there's a lot of things here that attract Quinn Hughes, and the fact that I mentioned before that he can be a leader and do something special here. And I know how much he loves this hockey mad market too. So I think there's a lot of motivating factors for Quinn Hughes. But obviously playing with his brothers would also be a motivating factor. So we'll see, gents.
Jim Rutherford could just pony up and get a couple of Hughes brothers in Vancouver instead. But look, I'm not trying to do the front office's job for them. I'm just going to lay out some suggestions. We know that Quinn Hughes is due to have a good year. He has good years every single year he plays. Elias Pettersson, bounce back, potentially. But who is going to break out this year, Trevor? Who's someone we don't know about from this Canucks team right now that you expect us to know by, let's say, even the midway point of the season?
Yeah, so I'm really looking down the middle for this group. And if I have to pick one guy, I'm going to go with Filip Chytil. Because I think this guy has shown in limited minutes and when he's healthy, 2 big ifs, that he can put up some numbers, right? You look at his underlying numbers at even strength. He's a borderline first line guy, but really a high end second line guy in terms of his even strength production. And man, when he came into Vancouver, the points weren't really there. Like he had 2 goals and 6 points in 15 games, like nothing that blew you away. But he was one of the best Canucks out there for a 15-game stretch. And just his speed's getting into the neutral zone. He's one of the quicker guys in the NHL. Loves to drive to the net. Like he's got great hands around the net too. Like I really do think with the right opportunity, Filipino can be a great NHL player if he stays healthy. And look, I mean, the guy he was traded for, JT Miller, no, I've gone on the record and saying I would not have done that trade if I were the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, look, we get a lot of sadness in this market, but like one of the biggest trades in franchise history was this team trading away Pavel Bure, right? In the late 90s. I mean, I think you guys were maybe in diapers at that point. I'm not quite sure. Pavel Bure, when he won out of Vancouver.
Diapers. I think I was just out of diapers.
Oh, just out. Okay.
Yeah,
I
turned 14 that year. Yeah,
I stayed in diapers a little bit longer than most, but we don't have to get into that.
Well, I actually had the same mustache back in 1999. I mean, figure that one out. But
that wouldn't shock me. That would not shock me one bit.
To wrap it up there, I mean, Bure, when he wanted out in the late 90s, for you kids that don't know, the Canucks held on to him for a year and a half. Brian Burke said, F your trade request, and kept him for a year and a half to get the best return. And a lot of those guys ended up whiffing, but Ed Jovanovski would end up being a pretty big piece of that. Anyways, with the Canucks, they traded JT Miller right away. They took this mediocre return. We'll see how it works out. But Filipino could be a player. And much like when the Canucks acquired JT Miller, he was kind of this like middling, up and down second line guy. He came to Vancouver and he became a superstar. I'm not saying Filipino's going to do that. I'm just saying we've seen it in this market with the same player he was traded for, that a guy can really elevate his next game with a bigger opportunity. And Filipino is definitely going to get that opportunity in Vancouver.
So what's the ceiling for the Canucks this season? Like, what's the best they could do? What's the worst? Give us the full spectrum.
Dude, I honestly think they could surprise people and win the division, or they could be like a bottom 10 team. I think there's a wide range, honestly.
They might have the widest range in that department of any team in the NHL. Cam?
Yeah.
I mean, they're right up there, I would think. Yeah. That standard deviation, so to speak. Yeah.
Science, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's, again, with this wide range, I mean, the most likely spots that they're going to land in the mushy middle, which probably isn't good enough to keep Quinn Hughes. So, I mean, look, they're going to need some things to go right. We've talked about it already. That's, they got this great goaltending tandem, a great defense, a lot of question marks at forward, but there are guys like Pettersson and Hedl that have the potential to pop off. And obviously, Brock Besser is a good player. Connor Garland, Kiefer the Reefer Sherwood, man, he was electric for us last year too. So, and Nils Höglander had 24 goals 1 year prior in like a third line role. So like there are guys here, but there are a ton of question marks at forward. And that's going to be really the thing that holds this team back, aside from injuries and all the other unforeseen stuff as well.
And one thing we didn't get to talk about much, but you kind of touched on it there. Healthy goaltending will go a long way for this Canucks team. That's for sure. We want your predictions. What's the floor and ceiling for the Canucks according to you, the fan? Let us know in the comments section below. Or if Jim Rutherford's watching, you can get down in there too.
Hey, I like Jim Rutherford. Great times, great memories with old Jimmy.
Get involved in the comment section, Jimmy. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can find us previewing all 32 NHL teams as we get you ready for puck drop. But for Tyler Feldman, I'm Cam Stewart, thanking Trevor Beggs. You can find him on Locked On Canucks on YouTube and wherever you find your podcasts. And we will see you on the next version of Locked On NHL Game Night.